Tao's back and you're looking for your weapons. You're browsing through there, seeing what the best one is. Do you have a Staff of Homa down there somewhere? Do you even need to pull on it? How much damage you're going to gain from staff compared to some other options that you might have on your account? We're answering that today, Steven and I. If you want to see more stuff like this, make sure you go ahead, hit that subscribe button as always. So let's break this stuff down for you as quickly and easily as possible. Now, before we get into the weapons themselves, let's tell you why these weapons are weighted this way. This is because there's two very important things. The attack combination that you're using, we're using the best combination that there is, the N1C, as well as the best partner for her, which is Xingqiu. Why are we waiting in Xingqiu? Why do you need to know that we're using Xingqiu? Because it's going to sort of change the weights of elemental mastery, damage up when doing certain reactions like vaporize or melt. And this is going to influence which weapons are going to be having a plus or a minus effect with Hu Tao. If you don't know what the N1C is, it's very simple. You go in Hu Tao, you hold down your charge attack button, you'll do that little animation there. That's one normal attack into a charge attack, N1C, normal one charge attack. And if you don't know, you can get out of it with an animation cancel. You can jump, you can dash, and it'll look something like this is the normal one. And then you can dash out of it or jump out of it like this. And that's your main state damage combo. So let's get into weapons here. Obviously, the first and foremost, the best weapon in the game for her is none other than Staff of Homa. By how much percent is going to be dependent on what sort of weapon you're comparing it against. Now, however, Staff does have one small caveat, which works very well with Hu Tao. If you're good at this, it gets even better. That's playing Hu Tao sub 50% HP. Staff has its own little additional benefit for being sub 50% HP. Additional attack based on your HP, 1% additional, which is very, very, very strong. And then obviously you have Sanguine Rouge here, which gives you 33% power damage. So there's a twice benefit, sort of an incentive to play her sub 50% health there with the Staff of Homa. And if you do so, it's going to work wonderful as a weapon for you. And on top of that, it's also just one of the most flexible weapons in the game. Just very strong crit damage, free attack for anyone, because every character in the game has HP, even if you're not stacking it up to 35,000 plus like you are with Hu Tao here. So it's a very fantastic weapon. And it's like 10%-ish, 11%, right? Somewhere in there, depending on your substat rolls and your artifacts, 10 to 13% better than any other weapon for her in the game. Now, if that matters to you, if you have some of these other weapons that we're going to be going over, maybe that's an incentive for you to not pull on Staff of Homa if you don't care about 10% additional damage. So what are the weapons that we talk about here? One that comes very close is the Primordial Jade Wing Spear. And when we talk about 5-star weapons, by the way, it's R1 5-star weapons here. Now the Wing Spear here has higher base attack, which helps out a little bit, but you're not really stacking attack percent on Hu Tao. It does have 22 crit rate though, which is nice. And then it's going to give you additional attack percent on stacks here, up to 7 stacks. And then if you hit max stacks, 12% damage increase. So this one right here is about 5%-ish worse than Staff of Homa if you are playing Staff of Homa above 50% HP. Now, if you're below 50% HP, then the Jade Wing Spear is like 10-ish% napkin math sort of damage there lost. So if that matters to you, that's up to you. If you have a Primordial Jade Wing Spear laying around, you care about 10% additional damage, probably not. That's up to you for you to decide there. If someone else is already using your Wing Spear, you need a new spear for your new girl Hu Tao, that's something else for you to determine there. Now, so then after the Jade Wing Spear, we have some other 5-star weapons. R1, we have stuff like the Vortex Vanquisher, the Engulfing Lightning, the Skyward Spine. These are okay weapons, but they're about 5 to 10% worse than the Jade Wing Spear is, and that was already 5 to 10% worse than the Staff of Homa. So keep that in mind as well. If you're looking at these weapons, you're looking at maybe, 20% damage less decrease than the Staff of Homa was. And this is some R1 5-star weapons. I don't want to hear about 5-star weapons. I hear you. Let's talk about some of the 4-star weapons. Now, I have some good news about 4-star weapons. Here is what we're talking about for 4-star weapons. So let's talk about these big bad 4. We have the Death Match, the Lithic Spear, Dragon's Bane, and the Black Cliff Polearm. All of these weapons are right around the same damage, equally refinement ranked. 3%-ish, 2%-ish is the maximum damage discrepancy you will see with these weapons. So the Lithic Spear, let's talk about this one first. Lithic Spear here, if you have the generic team composition for Hu Tao, which is Hu Tao, Xingqiu, Zhongli, X character, you're going to have 3 leeway characters there. So this is going to be a very nice weapon for you there, and it's going to be the middle of the road. It's literally right on top of the Dragon's Bane if you have 100% uptime on the Bane of Flame and Water, which you should between Hu Tao and Xingqiu there. It's going to give you Elemental Mastery, which is going to boost up your damage a very significant amount. Like, go ahead and check this out. It's going to give you like 120 something, 150, even more than that at level 90. 156 EM is what I have right now. The 27.9% vaporize and melt damage increase, which is a very, very significant because this is its own multiplier that's additive to vaporize in Genshin Impact. It's not something like this 15% damage up that you would see in the pyro damage, hydro damage, dendro damage up category. This is its own multiplier, and it's very, very, very powerful. So that's how something like the Dragon's Bane can keep up with some of these very nice high crit chance, high crit damage weapons, because it's going to allow you to do a whole bunch of good stuff here. As you can see, 36% hydro and pyro damage and 182 EM at level 70, which is very significant. Now the other ones here, Leeway Spear, we talked about that with a Lithic Spear. It gives you free crit rate, attack percent isn't the craziest thing on Hu Tao, but it will help a little bit. Just level up to 90, and these weapons are all right on top of each other. Now the best two out of all of them are going to be the Deathmatch in the good old Blackcliff Polearm. Now the Blackcliff Polearm here has one caveat, and it's going to be doing equal damage or a little bit higher damage than the Deathmatch is, as long as you can maintain maximum stacks, which is 3 stacks, which kills 3 enemies. Very easy to do. At R5, that's 72% attack. You have a pretty nice base attack of like 500 and some change, 560 on that Blackcliff Polearm, and it's going to give you crit damage on top of that. Whereas something like the good old Deathmatch is going to give you a very large amount of crit chance, very easy to build, a little bit of attack, a little bit of defense, but that very large crit chance is going to up your DPS very significantly, especially if you're brand new to building a character like Hu Tao. Now, the other weapons like Favonius Lance, Dragon Spine Spear, all these other weapons, guys, all these other forces we haven't talked about, very low damage. You don't want to be using this stuff physical damage up. We don't care about that. We don't care about resetting our E, even though you can't. All this other crit, we don't care about it. They're abysmally much lower than anything else that you can do. And if you're brand new to the game, you have no 4-star weapons, no 5-star weapons, look at the Black Tassel or the White Tassel. They're still under all of these weapons we just talked about by a pretty significant margin. But you have the Black Tassel, Slime Killer Extraordinaire, HP percent for the HP to attack. And you have the White Tassel, which gives you crit rate and normal attack up as well, which can be pretty helpful there. Although you're doing the N1C thing, which is the normal attack into charge attack, and that normal attack damage up from the White Tassel, it's only applying to the first part. It doesn't apply to the charge attack part at all. So yeah, we all know home is insane. Are you gonna get it? You tell me, guys. Tell Steven down below he stole what